I'm going to do one more aggrieved woman with you. And it happens to be Beyonce, one of the big losers. The celeb crowd, Beyonce, loser. Beyonce, she's won 33 Grammys, including for Best Country Album last night. Frank Sinatra got 11 Grammys. The Beatles won 7. Judy Garland, 2. Beyonce, 33. Most overrated artist of all time. Where's that picture, Queen Bey? Your BFF Diddy, who's now on trial. It recently came to my attention that Beyonce, who's on some world tour right now, reinventing herself as a country star, is running videotape during the show of yours truly. I believe it is a clip from me on the Paul Murray show.
If you thought Beyonce's tour was just about glitter, glamour, and groundbreaking music, think again. The queen of reinvention has set her sights on country music, but what's turning heads isn't just her genre switch. Blink and you'll miss it clip she plays on stage, featuring none other than Megyn Kelly. Yes, that Megyn Kelly. And depending on who you ask, it's either a genius move or a subtle attempt to turn criticism into victimhood.
So here is a bit that she came to our attention. She's showing it every show.
Decided to stick her big toe into the lake.
Now, the internet is in full meltdown mode, and Megyn, she's not exactly letting it slide. So, what's really going on here? Let's unpack it. Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter era has been nothing short of headline dominating. The visuals, the voice, the high-stakes pivot from pop royalty to Nashville rebel, it's bold, it's dramatic, and it's meticulously calculated. But in a surprising twist, audiences at her shows are watching more than just performances. They're seeing a clip of Megyn Kelly offering mild criticism of Beyoncé's entry into country music.
Because it recently came to my attention that Beyoncé, who's on some world tour right now, reinventing herself as a country star, is running videotape during the show of yours truly. I believe it is a clip from me on the Paul Murray show. Can I tell you something? Like, why do we have to? It's fine that they make a queen out of Beyonce. I don't totally understand why. I mean, she's a good singer. She's talented. I don't deny that. Why does it have to be, yes, Queen Bey? No, she's not a queen. People like her music. She sings some good music. That's it. Okay? She didn't cure cancer. She's not Marie Curie. Calm down.
And the implication is clear. This is one of the haters Beyoncé had to overcome to claim her place in the genre. The moment is brief, but the message isn't. It frames even the slightest pushback as something darker, as if Beyoncé's cultural crossover came at a great personal cost. But here's the catch. The criticism Megyn gave wasn't even remotely hostile. In fact, it was so soft that even Glenn Greenwald, known for his no-nonsense takes, called it the mildest commentary he's ever heard from her. So why include it? Let's rewind for a moment. When Beyoncé first teased her country project, the hype machine kicked into overdrive. Fans were losing their minds, and the industry rolled out a red carpet made of rhinestones. But Megyn, speaking, on Australian TV, pointed out what many others were thinking quietly. The reaction felt a little overblown. She joked that Beyoncé was being treated like she had descended from the heavens to save country music, an industry that, let's be honest, was doing just fine before she got there. That comment, while cheeky, was hardly controversial.
So now she decides to take a step into the country lane, and it's like, country music has been remade. It's remade. Is it? Okay, we have a new player in country music. Country music's been around for a long, long time. It goes right to the heart of America. And most Americans in red states have been loving and enjoying it long before Queen Bey decided to stick her big toe.
Still, it made its way into Beyoncé's show visuals, packaged alongside imagery that suggests she's been under attack. And that's where the tension lies. According to Megyn and Glenn, this is a deliberate framing. An attempt to cast Beyoncé not as a superstar enjoying a new creative chapter, but as someone who's been wronged and had to rise above a wave of injustice. And here's where the conversation shifts from music to media. Megyn Kelly didn't hold back in her response. She called out the absurdity of one of the most beloved, wealthy, and globally celebrated women in the world playing the victim over a milquetoast TV comment. Her words, Beyoncé had to scour the internet just to find someone who didn't.
One of the most privileged, beloved women in the world and richest based on her own fortune, never mind the man she's married to, but still has to look for the one sliver where she can play the victim and be aggrieved because big bad Megyn Kelly said something completely milquetoast about her entry into country music.
Bow down during her country debut, and that someone turned out to be her. Glenn Greenwald echoed the sentiment, pointing out the irony in Beyoncé's move. She's adored, constantly celebrated, and surrounded by praise. And yet, she's showcasing this one clip as if it represents the hostile backlash she had to endure. Glenn asked the question everyone's now repeating. Why do some celebrities need to be victims? What's the payoff in turning light criticism into a global grievance? This opens up a bigger, juicier discussion about how fame and criticism coexist in today's world. Because it's not just Beyoncé. Megyn and Glenn quickly turned the lens on other celebrities who've played the same card. Enter George Clooney. Apparently, Clooney featured Megyn Kelly in his Broadway adaptation of Goodnight and Good Luck. She didn't even know about it until after the fact. The point of including her? A dig, because she once mocked him for acting like the second coming of Edward, or Murrow, while delivering pompous speeches about the death of journalism during the Trump era. In response, Clooney reportedly portrayed Megyn as the anti-journalist, staging a public swipe under the cover of a Broadway script. It's a pattern Megyn's calling out. Powerful figures who are praised constantly, Clooney, Beyoncé, Michelle Obama, yet can't seem to handle even the gentlest dissent. When someone pushes back, even mildly, it's treated not as disagreement, but as persecution. Megyn, in her trademark style, isn't afraid to name names. She even threw out a challenge to Beyoncé mid-rant. If Queen Bee wants to spotlight public criticism, why not address more serious topics, like her connection to P. Diddy, someone currently facing massive legal troubles involving deeply disturbing allegations? Let's hear you explain your relationship with Diddy, Megyn said, daring Beyoncé to match her boldness with real commentary, not just staged grievances. Of course, that challenge is likely to go unanswered, because, as Megyn and Glenn argue, the entertainment elite are shielded. They're protected by publicists, media narratives, and loyal fan bases that attack anyone who so much as raises an eyebrow. And that's where the story really hits. In today's celebrity culture, victimhood has become a brand strategy. The more untouchable a star becomes, the more valuable it is to find a way to appear relatable and struggling. Being seen as attacked makes you sympathetic. It keeps the spotlight on you not just as a performer, but as a fighter, someone brave enough to keep going despite the hate. It fuels headlines. It goes viral. But what happens when that story is built on flimsy criticism? What if the outrage is manufactured? That's the debate Megyn Kelly has reignited. And whether you agree with her or not, she's asking a sharp question. When did being adored stop being enough for celebrities? Now, to be clear, this isn't about denying Beyoncé's talent. No one's questioning her skill, her hustle, or her legacy. She's an icon, and her switch to country music was bold and successful. But inserting Megyn's face into her show as a symbol of alleged mistreatment feels, at best, like overkill. And at worst, like narrative manipulation. The fan reaction has been mixed. Some Beyhive members are defending the move as clever commentary. Others admit it feels forced. But on social media, the story keeps evolving. Hashtags like Knock Megyn vs Beyoncé and Victim Vibes are picking up steam. People aren't just debating Beyoncé's music, they're debating her message. So, here we are. One world tour, one video clip, and one very outspoken news anchor later, and suddenly, we're having a national conversation about the fine line between criticism and cruelty, and whether pop culture is becoming too sensitive. For its own good, Megyn Kelly may not have meant for her comment to go global, but Beyoncé made it global, and in doing so, she's turned a light critique into the centerpiece of a cultural flashpoint. Was it intentional, strategic, or just another example of celebrity echo chambers blowing up minor moments? Whatever it is, one thing is clear. The crowd isn't just watching Beyoncé perform, they're watching a narrative unfold. And if this is what it looks like when the untouchable get touched, even gently, then we're in for a lot more drama. In the era of curated victimhood, stay tuned, because in this industry, nothing stays quiet for long.